Liberia's outgoing President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf will step down as Africa's first female head of state following more than a decade in power. She says she will actively campaign for the handful of female candidates contesting in general elections in October. Only one woman is, however, contesting among 20 candidates to replace her. Other male candidates include ex-football player George Weah and Liberia's Vice President Joseph Boakai.
Also, the presence in this marathon of the current Vice President, Joseph Boakai, who is being supported by Sirleaf. Joseph Boakai's ambitions to lead the country began by the current president after coming second since January 2006. The Vice President also held the post of Minister of Agriculture of Liberia from 1983 to 1985. The latter recently wished to define a program of his own, thus freeing the policy led by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Listen to the interview of our correspondent Odelia Nitamoa Boampang.
I am not asking for the continuation of Madam Sirleaf. I am asking for an opportunity in my own right as someone who had worked in this country, who have seen governments come and go, and who believe that there are still a lot of things in this country that had not been touched upon that I know I have the competence to deal with.
You were in charge of a rice committee for West Africa for a year. Now, I was thinking that then the issues relating to rice importation should have ended with you.
The farmers do not need a Minister of Agriculture to grow food and eat because they have to live. The purpose of a Minister of Agriculture that I know are 1 for policy, 2 for technology, and 3 for extension. And I have emphasized this over and again, that if these 3 things do not work, the farmers are not going to be involved. And I'm on record to say that I have communicated with previous ministers of agriculture as to their involvement in the engagement of the farmers. I can advise, I can sack a minister, but I believe when you have the gavel in your hand and they know that their non-action can cause them something, they will react.
Why do you want to be president? To have control in order to be able to implement your ideas? Is that it?
You have just hit the nail on the head. In our Constitution, the role of the Vice President is to preside over the Senate without a vote, except where there's a tie. And the other role, which is important, is to assist the President. Now, you assist people. You can take initiative by advising them. But assist doesn't mean you should replace them.
Do you have the endorsement of Madam Sirleaf? Does Madam Sirleaf support your candidature?
I'm glad you asked this question. Even about 3 years ago, sitting in my office at the house, when Madam Sirleaf told me, Joe, I'm looking up to you to replace me come 2017. She also did it in the presence of my wife. So I took that as a word from Madam Sirleaf, and since then, Madam Sirleaf had not come to me and tell me, Joe, even though I said this, I changed my mind.
Will she campaign?
Well, it is left with Madam Sirleaf. My commitment is to Madam Sirleaf as her Vice President, to do that which I'm supposed to do. How Madam Sirleaf translate that confidence and that respect that I gave to her is left with Madam Sirleaf.